Excited to be here. I know that um, I don't know if you want to have it where I'm going to try and get myself together here. And I have Brandon is 5, the 5th of 6 children, and he's the one that I've always had a heart for because of the choices he had made. Kind of led him down a path where pretty much brought us where we're here right now. And a couple months ago, in talking with him, he was sharing with me that after going to the dentist, and I knew for a couple of years that his teeth were tanking. He was getting more and more cavities, and his teeth were starting to come up missing. And I just knew, being in a customer service oriented business that I work in, how much the first impression, and usually it's you as a person, can make. And I've always seen Brandon as one of those people that is customer service oriented, so he's always out there with people, and how that has changed his life and perspective in the last few years as his teeth have been going down. And so when he finally shared with me a couple months ago that he had gone to the dentist and that they're recommending that all of his top get pulled and he has dentures, it reminded me of my mom, who at the age of 14, 15 had all of her teeth taken out and had been living with dentures all of her life. And what a sad thought that was for me. As I was flying up to see my oldest son on the airline, I was flipping through the airline magazine, not looking for except to occupy my mind, and I ran across Dr. Keller's advertisement, and that stopped me in my tracks. And I saw that that whole thing about all in one day, all in 4, and I was like, wow, is that something that really can happen? And something that would be permanent, something that my son wouldn't have to struggle with, like my mom has struggled with over the years of having to get new dentures and this and that if this is something that could last his lifetime, why wouldn't we look into this? So once I got back from my trip, I called the office and I talked to an amazing guy. I don't know if I can mention his name, but he took care of me from the very get-go. He heard what I was up, what we were looking at, and he was just so positive and made me feel like, okay, this is something maybe we can look into. So after talking with him and him explaining the whole procedure, then I get out, okay, so what's the cost? And so he explained that it's a little pricey, but I knew going in that it was going to be pricey because the fact that I also have one implant that I'm in the process of doing, and I knew that it's not cheap. So he laid out the costs, and I said, wow. I said, okay. So then I said, but how would this work? And so of course financing came in to play, and he ran my numbers, and he said, you qualify. And I go, really? It's like, that's amazing. So I said, oh, well, let me talk to my son and let him know that there's this option, and trying to. One of the things was like, well, how can this work? My son lives in one city, I live in another city, and you're in this city. Is there any way that you can do it all in one stretch? And this young gentleman went away above and beyond with his customer service to make it happen, to where my son was coming in on Wednesday to get the full examination, Tuesday to have his smile design, and then we're here today to have the surgery done, and been here all day for his full uppers. And then the assessment was that six teeth down below would have to be pulled with 4 implants. So, and that surgery would be on Friday, and then by the following, Monday, Tuesday, by Tuesday he'd have his new smile. And I was like, wow, we could do this. Yeah, it was an amazing dream. It was an amazing thought that my son could, in a week's time, could change his life around, and to see potential and possibilities back in his life, and you know, and mainly just to be able to start dreaming again. I think that in his life at 30 years old, I could see that his hope for life was not as bright. And just the fact that this gives him that excitement and the smile that I've seen already on his face, and just the hope that he has for the future is amazing. And I just can't thank the staff here. They've been just like family from the moment I walked in the door. They welcomed me with their own kindness and smiles and possibilities and excitement for us. And I mean, I just, you know, I know that the cost can seem a little daunting, but you know, I weighed the cost against the fact that my son is 30 years old and what he has to live with for the rest of his life, and I knew that this would be a game changer for him, a very big new lease on life. And so because of that, I was like, you know, it doesn't matter the cost. The cost is a non-issue. You know, to 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that will be long forgotten. But the smile on his face, him being confident again, and maybe starting to, you know, go after those things that he really wanted to do in life, is now a possibility again, and that he doesn't have to settle for where he's at right now, that he really can look forward to a life with a beautiful smile. He was, when he was young, he was a little model, and he wanted to be in acting and all those things, and I don't know if that's something that he'll want to still do, but by golly, now he can, and can with confidence, and just can't wait to see what the future is. I made it through the